Lewis Hamilton on pole position then. It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton gets away well from Valtteri Bottas. Kimi Räikkönen now slipstreaming behind Bottas, trying to attack him. Great scrap between Hartley and Magnussen. Hamilton leads into turn one. Räikkönen hasn't gained that place. Bottas is second, Räikkönen, and then comes Sebastian Vettel. Verstappen comes after that after making up a couple of places at the start. Is Vettel going to challenge Räikkönen and go around the outside at turn two? Yes, he is. He's got great momentum going round there. But Valtteri Bottas hangs on to second place. Kimi Räikkönen down to fourth. Sebastian Vettel now comes into the pits. Lewis Hamilton rounding the final corner. Goes past our commentary box. Vettel stops. Ultra soft tyre. It's the front left that was sticky, problematic once again.
Look for Bottas. Now it's all about where's Bottas, and I think it cost him too dearly.
Well, there is Valtteri Bottas. He's blasting down the main straight. Vettel comes out now. That slow pit stop has cost Sebastian Vettel a place in this race. He's gone from the lead by pitting back out onto the track into third spot. He might just have made it with a more regular stop. He's not got one Mercedes to overtake now. He's got two to overtake if he wants to win this race. Vettel seems a lot closer on this particular lap to Valtteri Bottas. And now with DRS, he's got a chance, and surely he's going to have to go for it. Bottas covers the inside. Vettel goes round the outside. Now switches to try and make the move down towards turn two. And Bottas is struggling for grip. And Sebastian Vettel seized his moment, and the opportunity has come. Oh, and it touched! He wasn't quite far enough ahead of Sir Valtteri Bottas. And as he tried to close the gap, Bottas went into the back of Vettel. He has won 5 times in Hungary before. It's a 6th win of the Hungarian Grand Prix for Lewis Hamilton, who extends his championship lead this afternoon over Sebastian Vettel. A frustrating afternoon for him. Ferrari will have 2 cars on the podium in Hungary. Lewis Hamilton on provisional pole at the moment, leads into the Parabolica ahead of Sebastian Vettel, ahead of Kimi Räikkönen as well. Which one of these three is going to come out on top for the Italian Grand Prix as Bottas crosses the line? Hamilton extends his advantage. Sebastian Vettel goes on to pole position. Kimi Räikkönen beats Sebastian Vettel. It is a Ferrari front row lockout. It is their 60th front row lockout in Formula One, but it's not Sebastian who's the golden boy for the Scarlet team. It is Kimi Räikkönen on pole in Monza and on pole in Formula One for the first time since Monaco last season.
Yes! P2, and Kimi on pole position, P1, P2. Nice job. We speak after.
He is not a happy man.
I think we'll speak later is I've just towed my teammate to pole. I don't think that's an issue there at all. There's enough bite from the bulk of the tyre that's on the track. They've been out there. But I think I fully expected they put Vettel out first on the first run. I fully expected them to swap that around. They didn't. And I think Vettel is well aware that he's basically just towed his teammate.
It's the Italian Grand Prix and 20 cars then lined up on the grid. 5 lights on ahead of them. And it's lights out and away we go, and Kimi Räikkönen gets away well, covers off Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton slipstreaming behind Vettel, who pulls out to the left-hand side, and it's up, a damage from Brendan Hartley. Look up there for Kimi Räikkönen, but he makes the first chicane. Hamilton and Vettel almost touch. Verstappen's on the inside of Bottas, and he's made up a place. Räikkönen leads them away, going over the grass. It's Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. It's Räikkönen from Vettel, from Hamilton, Verstappen. Bottas under pressure now from Grosjean.
Going to be horrible flat spots on the front tyres of Kimi Räikkönen. They're side by side. Look at Hamilton alongside Vettel. Oh, so close. He'll struggle to get round there.
They touch Martin. Hamilton and Vettel has been spun round. Disaster for Sebastian Vettel at the start of this race. He touched with Lewis Hamilton going through the chicane. Hamilton came off best. Sebastian Vettel losing places. He's down in 18th. Sebastian Vettel is going to see the lead extend for Lewis Hamilton. The championship leader has come to Monza, and he is going to win once more as Hamilton takes the checkered flag and the Italian Grand Prix victory. That first corner, Lewis Hamilton can see that first corner. There's nobody in his way, but for how much longer? 5 lights ahead of the drivers. It's lights out and away we go. Even start from the front two. Sebastian Vettel challenging Max Verstappen. They get very close this time. They don't touch. Verstappen just makes first corner ahead of Sebastian Vettel. They're looking up behind. corners. Verstappen ahead of Sebastian Vettel into the wall. Goes Esteban Ocon. Did he make contact with his teammate Sergio Perez? They were right close together again. The two Force Indians, and we have another first lap accident as Vettel and Verstappen down Raffles Boulevard go wheel to wheel. Sebastian Vettel ahead of Max Verstappen and just squeezes ahead of the Dutchman into turn 7. We have a safety car now deployed.
Looking at the Vettel overtake, very clever and lucky with the safety car. He gets the battery boost and absolutely drains it before turn 7. I can see a light come on his dash, and by the time he gets to turn 7, lo and behold, the safety car comes out. You can recharge your battery for free. Brilliant.
Just make this
Into the pits comes Sebastian Vettel. Sorry to interrupt you there, Martin, but Ferrari are triggering what they call the undercut here, stopping before the guy in front, getting a fresh set of tyres, going like the clappers on those fresh set of tyres, and hoping that by the time the man in front responds, you've got track position and you're ahead. And he's put the ultra soft tyres on, with maybe Ferrari thinking they can go to the end of the race.
So how much traffic is he going to get? They found him a bit of space to go out to. Will Mercedes respond to this? Do they feel the need to?
Sebastian Vettel, who just looked a touch down, and a few people were saying in the paddocks he just looks a little upset with the way this weekend's gone so far, trying to do something to improve his mood right now. And Mercedes are going to respond, and respond straight away. Lewis Hamilton now has to put on the brakes and has to put up with trundling along at 60 kilometres an hour. Ted Kravitz, you should be able to see him.
But it's a completely different strategy. It's the yellow tyres. This tyre can go to the end. If Hamilton wants, if there's not another safety car, then this tyre can go to the end. You can't say that for Sebastian Vettel for sure. It's possible, but it's tight on what Vettel's doing with tyres. Hamilton is responding with a slower but more long life tyre.
0.2 of a second slower as well in the pit stop.
And Sebastian Vettel's just coming round the final corner now as Lewis Hamilton making his way out of the pits, and he's going to go around the inside the slower way on the track. Sebastian Vettel going round the longer way but faster, obviously. Does Hamilton come out ahead? Yes, he does. And crucially for Hamilton, he's got a Force India in between himself and Sebastian Vettel as well.
He really needs to clear the Force India down this next straight after the Anderson Bridge. Otherwise, he'll not get another chance. Maybe into turn 1, but probably down into turn 7. He hasn't done it. No. It's not working at all well.
It's coming in, so maybe they think they could just jump Vettel, but it's just something in hindsight that maybe Ferrari are just trying to play the maths of this championship.
Verstappen does pit. Kimi Raikkonen carries on. He leads the race. Daniel Ricciardo is second. It's soft compound tyres going on to the Red Bull of Max Verstappen as well. Down the pit lane now comes the main straight now comes Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton will be ahead of Verstappen. Will Vettel be ahead of Verstappen?
It's worked, surely. It's such a slow pit out. What are they going to meet in the middle at turn 2?
And we've seen this come badly wrong in the past with Hülkenberg and Massa. This time around, the drivers avoid each other, and Max Verstappen retakes the place on Sebastian Vettel. Have been heaven sent for Lewis Hamilton, who extends his lead in the Drivers' Championship and wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is now 40 points clear of Sebastian Vettel. And you want to get yourself onto the track as soon as possible. There is rain in the air, the track is wet. These might be the best conditions. We don't know.
I think it looks too dry.
Out of the pit lane come the two Ferraris of Kimi Raikkonen and of Sebastian Vettel. They are on the intermediate tyres in these greasy conditions. You just heard Sebastian Vettel say, I think it might be too dry for these tyres. Mercedes have come out with slick tyres. They just waited a little bit there, Paul di Resta, and once again have Mercedes made the right strategy call at the right time, and a Ferrari just got it a little bit wrong. Sebastian Vettel had a bit of a problem through Spoon Curve as well.
He's had a shocking sector, Crofty, hasn't he? I'm just going to take it back on Sky Race Control and see what I can see.
He's gone so far wide, Paul, he'd almost ended up in the gravel.
He has done, he's just overdone it, exactly where Raikkonen had done just earlier as well in the same car.
Sebastian Vettel limps home in 9th place. Sebastian Vettel will sit down on Christmas Day and think, that's where it kind of went wrong. That's down at the Degnus, limping off into the gravel. This has been an awful, wretched afternoon for Sebastian Vettel, who started 9th here at Suzuka in 2014, came home to finish 3rd on that particular occasion. We'll look for something similar in tomorrow's race as Mercedes for the 5th consecutive year, 1 and 2 in qualifying here at Suzuka, and it was just like he was, well, it was proper Bambi on ice for Sebastian Vettel. One little turn to the right and the car just goes away from him. Silver arrows, 400 metres into turn 1, 53 laps to go then. And it's lights out, and away we go. Hartley gets away well for Toro Rosso. Hamilton covers off Bottas. Verstappen now slips behind Bottas. Sainz pulls out to the right-hand side as they all go through turn 1. And Sebastian Vettel on the inside of the Toro Rosso, going wheel to wheel with Pierre Gasly. Now it's Hamilton through the S's, ahead of Valtteri Bottas, Verstappen and Raikkonen. Then comes Grosjean and Sebastian Vettel, who's made up places. Crucially, getting past the 2 Toro Rossos already. And he's trying to make up another place, this time on Kevin Magnussen through that hairpin. And Sebastian Vettel now on the approach down to Spoon, goes wheel to wheel with Romain Grosjean. Into Spoon goes Vettel, and that's a super move and in the nick of time. Simon has a little look on Verstappen going into the chicane. Verstappen locks up and then goes onto the runoff area, and he pushes Raikkonen wide, and they've touched as well.
He'll pick up a penalty for that. I think he just pushed him a little bit too wide there, Croft. He never left him any road, but that's going to give Sebastian Vettel another place to get through to Bottas.
Wasn't this track where they changed his name from Kobayashi to Kobe-bashi? Quite frankly, as through, and Spoon goes Sebastian Vettel, and Max Verstappen, and Sebastian Vettel has come off worse as the 2 cars make contact. It is all happening to Verstappen at the moment. He makes contact with a Ferrari and he gets a 5-second penalty. He makes contact with the next Ferrari and he spins Vettel around. Lewis Hamilton, who won 3 of the last 4 Japanese Grand Prix, has now won 4 of the last 5 Japanese Grand Prix. It is Hamilton's day in Suzuka.